Okay, so I said that my rate times time equals distance. It says Millicent began the journey at 6 a.m. I'm just going to write that here to remind myself of the time, at 50 kilometers per hour. Beauregard, so we know it's Millicent and Beauregard. Beauregard began to chase her at 10 a.m. going 60 miles per hour. What time was it when Beauregard got within 40 kilometers of Millicent? Okay, so let me just show you really quickly, like visually. Millicent is going, right? And we don't know her distance, but we do know a relationship about her distance because it says that Beauregard came within 40 miles of her. Within means that he had 40 miles to go to Alg.2 to her, okay? What does that mean? That means whatever the distance of Millicent is, the distance of Beauregard was d minus 40 because he was 40 miles within her reach, which means he still had 40 miles to go, which means that it's the distance of Millicent minus 40 to get the distance of Beauregard. You don't have to draw this, but if you need to, you can if you're not picturing it mentally when you see these kinds of problems, okay? Other than that, we also don't know how long they were traveling. But what do we know? That if this is T for the time of Millicent, this guy left 4 hours later than her, which means that no matter what time they both end, he was traveling 4 hours less than she was. She started traveling at 6 a.m. and he was still like in his bed sleeping, okay? Which means he has 4 less hours of travel time, which means he's T minus 4, okay? Not T plus 4, but T minus 4, okay? Because think about it, he was in his bed sleeping probably. Okay, so here we go. Let's do our equations then. 50T equals D, right? And then this one is 60T minus 60 times 40 is 240 equals D minus 40, okay? I'm going to substitute 50T in for D, so we have 60T minus 240 equals 50T minus 40, okay? I'm going to move my 50 over here, 10T. I'm going to move my 240 over here, that's going to be 200. Which means T equals 20, right? T equals 20, let's make sure that we're right. Yes, we are. Okay, because if T equals 20, that means we need to figure out what was hours after 6 a.m. They were traveling a long time, you guys, okay? 20 hours after 6 a.m. Okay, well, here's the thing, guys. 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. is 12 hours. Okay, 6 to 6 is 12 hours, so then we have 8 hours after 6 p.m. 6 p.m. to 12 midnight is going to give you 6 more hours. So now we need 2 hours more, so it's going to be 2 a.m. 2 in the madrugada is what time, because that's what they asked us, what time was it when Beauregard got within 40 kilometers of Millicent? Okay? So that's how you figure out what time. Look, you could do it a different way. You could do this. 6 plus 20 is 26. Well, there's 24 hours in a day, which means that that you got to 12 o'clock. 26 minus 24 is 2, so after you get to 12 o'clock, you get 2 more, so it's 2 o'clock in the morning. You could do that, right? So there's a lot of different stuff that you can do. Let me think of another one. You could just count 20 after 6. Well, that's what I just did. 20 plus 6 is 26, so 26 minus 24 is 2 o'clock in the morning. You could also just draw a clock, right? If you draw a clock, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You start at 6 and then you go 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And you end at 2 o'clock in the morning. Okay? So there's a lot of different methods that you could do to figure out what is 20 hours after 6 o'clock. But that is your answer. Okay, so here we go. Let's do example 2. Then you just do your practice and you're ready to go for the day. When the sheriff began his pursuit, Robin Hood was already 7 miles out of Nottingham. Okay, so we have sheriff and we have Robin Hood, I assume. If the sheriff traveled at 6 miles per hour, while Robin Hood's rate was 2.5 miles per hour, how long did it take the sheriff to catch up? Okay, so what that means, guys, is you gotta look at the distance. Let's look at Robin Hood. And let's look at the sheriff. When the sheriff started, Robin Hood was already 7 miles away from him, okay? So I'm gonna start Robin Hood's distance over here, because he had like a head start, okay? And this 7 for him is not gonna count. Because it's like this, like think about it, here is Sheriff's house, and here is Robin Hood's house, okay? And Robin Hood starts 7 miles ahead of him, so he doesn't have to travel those 7 miles in the problem that we're talking about. But the sheriff does, right? So, they don't have roofs, there you go, okay? So, his distance now is gonna be what? The distance of Robin Hood plus 7. Because he has to go whatever Robin Hood goes to catch up to him, plus the 7, because he lives further back than Robin Hood does. Okay? So we have distance for Robin Hood, and then we have distance plus 7 for the sheriff. Okay, so let me go through that one more time. Knowing that it says that he was already 7 miles out of Nottingham. Okay, so he already went that 7 miles. Either he slept that 7 miles, he stayed overnight on that 7 miles, right? But he did not have to go that 7 miles for the problem. But this guy does. So whatever Robin Hood's distance is, because he's going to catch up to Robin Hood, he's going to outside of him. Whatever Robin Hood's distance is, he did 7 miles more than that. Okay? So Robin Hood is distance and the sheriff is distance plus 7. Then we have, let's see what else it says. How long did it take the sheriff to catch up? I confess I stopped the video to make sure I'm not going to totally mess you up. But the time is the same. Why? Because, remember, he started with that 7 miles already done. Okay, so no one said that Robin Hood left early to get that 7 miles done before the sheriff. No, they both left at the same time. It's just the sheriff left 7 miles back. Okay, but they both left at the same time, so their time is the same. So the sheriff is obviously going to have to travel faster to catch up to Robin Hood. Okay? So now the question is, how long did it take the sheriff to catch up? So we're looking for the sheriff's time. So let's do our equations. Okay, so we have, this one is 6t equals d plus 7, and this one is 2.5t equals d. Okay, so we're going to substitute this in for d. 6t equals 2.5t plus 7. Minus 2.5, that's going to give you 3.5. T equals 7. 3.5 divided by 7, that's t equals 2. So it took him 2 hours to catch up to Robin Hood, going faster than Robin Hood. Okay? There you go. So t equals 2. Go ahead and do your practice, and I'll come back and tell you the answer and how I got it. Okay, guys, the practice is 11 a.m. is the answer. So look what it says. Zane began the journey. Let's do Zane. Began the journey at 5 a.m. at 30 kilometers per hour. Trisha began to chase him at 7 a.m. Okay, so we already know that this means that this is time, and this is time minus 2. She was in bed for 2 more hours at 40 kilometers per hour. What time was it when Trisha got within 20 kilometers of Zane? Okay, so I'm going to draw it again. Here's Zane, he's going. Trisha only got to, here's Trisha, 20 miles within Zane. So she didn't catch up to Zane, which means Zane had the D and she has D minus 20. Okay, because she didn't outside him. So let's go ahead and do our equations then. We have 30t equals D. Then we have 40t minus 80 equals D minus 20, right? 40t minus 80, yes, okay. Make sure you always distribute the 40 to the t and the 40 to the 2. It's easy to forget that. Okay, I'm going to substitute the 30t in for D. So here we go, 40t minus 80 equals 30t minus 20. Minus the 30t over here, add the 80 over here. That's 10t equals 60. T equals 6. So if t equals 6, then it's going to be 5 a.m. plus 6 hours is 11 a.m. That's all you have to do, guys. Okay, 5 a.m. plus go 6 hours, that's going to be 11 a.m. Okay? If you have any questions, let me know. Okay, have a great day.